pop up as a character on page 75, the chapter after many years of trying, she lands Prince Harry in the moment where she felt that she was at the point where she always wanted to be in her life. To the A-listers in Hollywood who, for the first time, accepted the invitation to go to her wedding. Calls herself an organism, and then she makes a squeaking sound like, an organism is a parasite. A parasite is someone that lives off of somebody else's blood. If you were to look at an actor, or if you were to look at a character, she was going to be a supporting role to the principal roles in the royal family. She's hired as a character that's going to play a secondary role. She accepted, and she wants to take the principal characters who already have the roles and have been born into those roles. She wants to knock them off to take their part. It's always about the roles. It's always about the platform. It's always wanting to be on a different platform than accepting that you are satisfied and grateful and privileged for the platform that you already have, beginning with you and your character being on page 75. I'm analyzing characters. What are the characters going to do to be able to achieve the goal of making themselves feel better? Do we get in touch with a professional? Do we get in touch with a psychiatrist? If the institution, as you say, did not want to help, if you, Harry, did not know how to help Meghan, why wasn't Doria, who's a social worker, contact with a lot of people like Tyler Perry or Oprah or Beyonce? Where is that? To share my personal experiences, because I want to show you where I'm coming from in the way that I'm trying to analyze the psychology of another character. When this happened to me, I remember having to write down about that period in my life because it was so scary, and I was trying to figure out a way out of it on my own. I didn't have anybody here physically in the location where I'm at. The one person that I was calling almost every day was my father, so I was talking to him on the phone, but that wasn't sufficient. And then I was writing things down of how I felt. Then the next thing, with the help of my dad and the conversations that we had, the next thing was I need to get professional help. I didn't have the monetary means. I had to deal with, let me find somebody who's going to be covered by my insurance. That made me really sad because it brought me back to that time in my life when I was dealing with that. Everything changes from when it suits them. Suits, as in Suits, the cable show that she was on that was coming to an end when she met and married Prince Harry. We do not relate to what she's saying. And that's why what she's saying is not credible, because she's giving us a one-dimensional character, which nobody is. So she goes for the music, but she doesn't get into it because she doesn't want to reflect any of the imperfections that we all have, when we would welcome that, because we all have imperfections, and that would be something that we would all identify with. Oh, it's okay to do it. It's fine to do it. Oh, do you remember Oprah? Do you remember Oprah? She stopped by for tea, as if to say they've always been part of the world of Oprah, beginning again on page 75, because I don't have a past. In one of them, she's crying, and the other one is her with her face in her hands, kind of like this. So I was looking so forward to it, to see her actually organically be emotional. That would have been such a surprise. Looking forward to see if she was actually going to master one or two moments. The one moment where she actually has to wipe real tears from her face, for one moment, I believed her crying. This is the first time where I believed her crying came out of something that was relevant and that was truthful inside of her, that was making her emotional. That result was of a whole session of meditation that her and Harry were doing. It wasn't that she was speaking about something and something spontaneously, instinctively connected her to some truth emotionally and she cried. That's not what happened. The fact that she did not have one moment of living truthfully where there was a real emotion that surprised her to produce tears during the 6 hours is again a confirmation that this character does not allow herself to feel. All of the things that she says that she felt, they're not believable because you do not see her feel. Pretend feelings, yes, those pretend feelings don't move me. So I already know that they're not real. Yeah, no, when she's the principal character in a situation, she doesn't have a problem adapting to the tradition of that scenario. She has a problem adapting to any scenario when she's not the principal role. If you don't see that, I can't help you. Well, if you do not see that, I can't help you, Prince Harry, because out of all the people in the royal family and out of all these people that you mention as being racist, the only person that was wearing a jacket that had the Nazi representation on it was you. When you say that you have evolved, Meghan has come into your life and you understand racism, okay, which is wonderful. You've grown as a person, you've evolved. Where are the images when you were younger, before you were an evolved person? Because for everything else in the docuseries, you have images that come with everybody else being a villain. Every time you portray somebody else being a villain, you seem to have a lot of footage. Darkness, horrible, horrific, tragic, traumatic. Two people came together from second roles in their lives, imagining themselves now to be in the principal roles of their story because they've put themselves there, both of them trying to erase those pasts because they want to believe that they had come to these two principal roles on their own. That's the ego. Nope. That's not believable. If a character came on stage to do exactly that, people would walk out of it. But I think because they don't know the difference between mediocre acting and great acting, they don't have that capacity to understand what great storytelling is. They have no story. She's never really done acting at a level of what she's trying to portray to us, that she's had a successful career as an actress. And again, there's nothing wrong with not being an actress and not getting to that successful career because it's very difficult. I think her accepting that, many more people would feel that they recognize themselves in her. A story told well is because of the action, because of the characters that are representing all different sides and different versions to what the story is. That's what makes it compelling. That's why this is not. It's boring because it's just one-sided. Everything seems like it's going into this propaganda. Meghan and the propaganda machine. She knew in her being that she would have to reveal the fact that she's just a B-list actress in one cable show. And she is so privileged to have met Prince Harry, to be given this platform. How dare, when it is about my life, when the stakes are so high, and the father lied and the queen just stood there, the poor late queen, my God, applauding Meghan. Medea is applauding Meghan. Medea is applauding Meghan now. Now that she has the title of a duchess, if the christening is going to happen back in that country with the gray surroundings and the gray buildings versus the sky in California, which is blue, to show again gray, dark characters, light characters, applaud her. Medea applauding Meghan Markle. You may think that this letter is about an actress. No, Meghan, we don't think the letter is about an actress from California. You were a B-list celebrity, so we didn't think that. And you may think that this is about a prince. Yes, he is a prince. So yes, we believe that part. One of the first things that actors learn is when they're using a text that's written, you usually look at the page and you take the first line. You might want to know, so then you give it to the audience to make eye contact with the cameras, which is the audience in this case. You may think, so you may think that this is a story about, just as an example, to finish this up, it's okay to be the whole human that we are, with the bad, with the good, with the ugly. Thank you so much. Kisses.